What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jackson. In this video, I'm gonna go through and talk about my mining setup and whether or not in 2021 it's worth getting started in crypto mining for a passive income setup. So first, let's talk about what graphics card mining is. And graphics card mining is using the processing power on your GPUs, your graphics processing unit, to do some computational computing that goes and secures the blockchain. So for cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and most likely Ethereum are the biggest cryptos that you would be mining. A lot of the software pays out in Bitcoin, but you do the mining on Ethereum or Ravencoin networks. Those are usually the most profitable from the time of this recording. And essentially all your graphics card is doing a bunch of math. When it gets the block correct, it will go ahead and submit this to the network. It's accepted, and for doing this computational component, you will be rewarded with a small slice of cryptocurrency. As we know, with the price of cryptocurrency rising, mining for Bitcoin using graphics cards has become a very popular trend in the last 9 months. It's important to remember that this is not staking. So staking applies to proof of stake coins. This is proof of work. So we're only going to be focusing on proof of work coins in this video that actually require mining power. So for my setup, I use a program called NiceHash. It's just a really easy way to get started with mining if you don't have a lot of experience using other programs that require much more custom setups, like joining pools. So that's what I'm gonna be recommending to a lot of you. You can see on the screen here that I am earning about $11 per day mining. Now this does come with a cost, and I'll talk about that later on, but I currently have a RTX 3090 and a GTX 1060. I also have a RX 580 and a 570 that's currently in this computer that I use for work and also some video editing. However, I mainly use this computer, so I don't use it for mining a lot, but this computer will earn around $6 per day. So at max speeds, if I have both computers running, I can make around $16 to $20 per day every day. But how much you actually make mining depends a lot on what graphics cards you have in your computer. So let me give you an example here. Currently, I'm going to select, let's just go with a 3090, which is the computer that I have in my computer. This card makes, the current quote is around $9.16. It fluctuates between about $9 to $10 a day. But then let's go up and choose a less powerful card like the 3070. And you can see this card makes $4.66 per day. So the card that you choose will dictate how much you can make per day. So you could be saying, well, this sounds great. Why doesn't everyone do this? And there's a catch. Like with everything, the demand for getting started in this has caused the price for these graphic cards to go sky high. And I'm going to be talking about the prices and why you may not be interested in doing this. Just to give you a quick rundown of the cost associated with getting a rig like I have set up, I'm going to estimate, I had a lot of this stuff already sitting around, so I already had an old computer that I was using for some other stuff, so converting it into a mining rig was relatively straightforward. So if you have a computer you're already not using, you could just throw a better graphics card in, this may be up your alley. I'm going to estimate and just put a cost of around $200 for a CPU and motherboard. You don't need anything fancy for the motherboard or CPU. You will need some sort of case, so $40 or so. You do need a power supply. I opted for a 1300 watt power supply in case I wanted to upgrade and add another card maybe in the future. The 3090 cost me around $1,950. I found this in stock, brand new at Micro Center. They do have a once in a month rule, but that's fine. I'm not doing this on any massive scale. And then the 1060 I got on eBay. I saw someone selling it around me locally, so I just met with him and paid cash for that, which was great because a 1060 for $270 is a pretty good deal, and it's been a killer card so far. You're also going to need probably around 8 gigs of RAM. One RAM stick will do. $30 is probably even a lot for this. You could just go with DDR3, which is a slower and older RAM, which is what I'm using in this computer, and it works perfectly fine. All right, and now talking about profit. I just mentioned this in the last video. I'm making around $10.80 per day. So if you divide the cost of how much all this setup costs versus how much you can sell, how much you can make per day, it's going to cost around 256 days until you hit that break-even point. So every day that you are making $10.80, you're paying off the cost of the computer that you built. So this is something to keep in mind long-term on how much you want to actually mine. And I know what some people are going to say, Jackson, what about mining rates for electricity? Aren't they higher for using up a lot of electricity because these graphics cards pull so much power? And yes, you would be correct. They do. It just depends what state you're in. I live in Ohio where electricity rates are pretty inexpensive. We pay around 5 cents per kilowatt. So this is actually on the higher end that it's quoting. But if you did live in a state like California or New York or up east, yeah, you could expect to pay a lot more for mining, which then would hurt into your profitability. But even then, these cards don't use a whole lot. I probably pay maybe around 60 cents for an entire month's worth of electricity, but that does depend on having very energy efficient cards. So if you are using really older cards like 980s or a bunch of 1080s, the efficiency of those cards is going to be lower, so it's going to use more power and get you less mining potential, but that's all reflected in the price of the cards that you're going to be buying. Here you can see some physical photos of my mining computer itself. I do keep an auxiliary fan just nearby to blow some cooler air onto it because it does get a little hot sometimes, especially the 3090 with just how much power it uses. And then you have the power supply down here. Another photo, you can just see the auxiliary fan blows more cooler air. I do have a Wi-Fi dongle. This computer is almost a decade old, so I really don't have any use for it anymore, other than just really collecting dust. I was using it for some personal projects, but now that those have kind of dried up, this is a much better use case for this computer. So here you can see this is the actual computer itself. I'm doing this over remote desktop just so I can monitor temperatures at any time. It's just running in the background. It's just really fantastic to be able to check on things when things may go awry. I would like to know what you guys think. What do you think about graphics card mining? I hope I did a pretty good job of just making a quick overview about it. If you're interested in more content like this one, be sure to subscribe down below and like this video as it does really help the channel out. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.